Welcome to another episode of the Director Series, where each week we talk about a different director and pick out 5 films from their filmography that everyone should see. If you already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to never miss an episode. We have daily content including reviews and other film-related videos. For this week's video, we are talking about one of the most legendary filmmakers to ever do the job, Akira Kurosawa. The first film that I want to talk about in his collection, of his filmography of the 5 that I picked for this week, I want to talk about his film High and Low. This is a film that I recently just covered on the Criterion Corner podcast and did an in-depth, insightful talk about for over an hour. If you're interested in something like that, go ahead and check out that episode on Criterion Corner podcast, wherever you get your podcast. High and Low is about a film. Well, really, High and Low is like a film that is so masterfully done, and it's broken up into almost 2 parts. It is about a executive at a shoe company whose son is a target of a kidnapping, and the kidnapper accidentally kidnaps the chauffeur's son. The entire film revolves around this $30 million ransom that essentially will bankrupt this executive due to unforeseen circumstances and a hostile takeover. And the first part of the film is about addressing the moral and ethical dilemma of whether or not to pay for the ransom. And the second part of the film is very much a police protocol drama on trying to capture the kidnappers. I highly recommend the film. Spike Lee actually remade this film and called it Highest to Lowest, and starring Denzel Washington. Just hit Apple TV today, actually, September 5th. Haven't watched it yet. Actually planned to go see it a few weeks back when it was in select theaters. Whole issue with Fandango, I had to make some adjustments to my movie day. Long story short, didn't get the opportunity to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing this one because even though Spike Lee did kind of drop the ball when it came to Old Boy, I've been hearing a lot of good things, so definitely excited to check that one out. However, I recommend watching the original Kurosawa film, High and Low, beforehand. Just my opinion. The second film in which I want to talk about from this legendary director, one of my personal favorite Kurosawa films, and that is Seven Samurai, which is pretty much the story about these farmers who are being raided and killed off and pretty much being overtaken by these bandits in which they have no means to defend themselves. So they pull together because the bandits tell them they're going to come back at the end of the season to pretty much steal all their crops that they've been producing this entire season. So they're going to have no food, no source of trade, and all these farmers in this community pull together to hire 7 samurai to defend them. This is probably one of the best, without question, it's definitely one of my favorite Kurosawa films, and I'd argue it's probably up there with the top 5 best samurai films ever made. Now, of course, I say that, and I have not seen every samurai film ever made. I have seen a lot, but not every film. But I definitely would argue that's probably one of the top 5 best samurai films ever made. And that goes with some backing, considering that Kurosawa is considered to be one of the greatest filmmakers, and Seven Samurai is arguably one of the most influential films of its time. Third film we'll talk about is Throne of Blood, another film in which is very much about power, corruption, and the overall human desire, or moral compass, if you will. The film is a war-hardened general egged on his ambitious wife, works a fulfilling prophecy that he will become Lord of Spider's Web's castle. The fourth film in which I want to talk about is one that I was recommended to from a guy who works at a movie store I go to a lot. And he said it was his favorite Kurosawa film ever made. And Upon looking at this film, or kind of looking into this film more in depth, this might be one of his best films, critically speaking. Roger Ebert said that every med student should watch this film or be forced to watch this film to understand the consequences of life and death. And that is Redbeard. Now, this film has hugely influenced a lot of filmmakers. It has a lot of weight to it. Again, this is one of Kurosawa's best films. Now, there is a rumor, now how true it is, that this was the last film that Kurosawa and Tsushima Mifune worked on together, which that's not a rumor, that is the last one they worked on together. The rumor is that this is the last one they worked on together after having a very extensive career working together, because Kurosawa made him dye his beard red for the film, which the movie's called Redbeard, kind of makes sense. However, the fact the film is shot in black and white and there is no color in the film makes it kind of odd that he would force him to dye his beard when it doesn't actually affect the film. Now, that could be some type of method acting type thing, or just really kind of trying to get into character and enforcing him to dye his beard red so it kind of sets the tone of the film and the set. Again, I don't know. I haven't heard any concrete evidence to the contrary of what this or why that was like that, or if this is even the reason they never worked together again after. I just thought it was kind of a fun fact that I would throw in there. And the last film in which of 5 that I want to talk about is the movie Run. It's medieval Japan when an elderly warlord retires. He leaves his entire fortune and everything to his 3 sons. However, he didn't realize is that the overall impact that this instant power and wealth would have on the 3 sons, and they kind of turn on each other and him, and trying to find that balance, and kind of shows an in-depth look at what happens when you give somebody absolute power and wealth. So there are the 5 films I recommend from Kurosawa. Definitely to check out. What is your favorite Kurosawa films? Comment below. Let me know.